Hi guys, before I'm actually going to release my review of the Nokia Lumia 830, I wanted to go over all the pros and cons of Windows Phone in general for you to get a better perspective, because some of my viewers wanted to know what I actually think of Windows Phone as my personal driver. So I will give you 10 pros and 10 cons, and then it's for you up to decide which you find really to be something bad or really to be something good, and if it's maybe worth checking out Windows Phone. Point number one, the smoothness. As you can see, everything in Windows Phone is extremely buttery smooth, and this is very consistent. Of course, maybe it isn't the fastest, but as you can see, if you like smoothness and if you want it to be really lag free, then Windows Phone is the one thing to go for, because you can check no matter app you want, it will be buttery smooth consistently throughout the whole system. Point number two, the very nice app design, because once you find a nice app, you will notice how actually well done it is. As you can see here, this is a Twitter client and it looks really nice and it works quite nice. Same as, for example, the RSS reader. It looks very elegant and everything works quite nice. As you can see here, you have all the amount of apps and so on, and if you find the right app, it is done really nicely, and that is something I really appreciate, because it is a minimalistic design but a really beautiful one. Point number three, the tiles. As you can already see, they are live tiles and they give you more information than you would usually get from your device, like in kind of times widgets. But as you can see here also, you get like hours, you get notifications and also on. And this is quite nice and is also something fresh and something new I really like to appreciate. Point number four, Windows Phone is something completely different and something completely fresh. If you've ever used Android or iOS, you will know to appreciate things just work different. Of course, maybe a kind of different you maybe don't like so much, but if you are looking for something fresh and new, Windows Phone is definitely the way to go for. Point number five, copy and paste works as amazing as on no other system, because all you have to do is tap once and you will get a pop-up for the copy, but you can also drag along if you want to copy more. Just hit this icon, and if you now want to write something and want to paste it, just tap once again and you already have this paste icon. This makes it so convenient and easy and fast to use copy and paste, and I would definitely like to see this on other OSs as well. Point number six, the elegant minimalistic design. As you can see, there are not many UI elements. Everything is quite clear, quite maybe minimalistic, or you could say really sparse, but therefore it looks well and it works well, and I just think it looks very elegant, and I definitely know to appreciate it, and this is something definitely nice to have. Point number seven, there is no need for a flagship to get a great experience, because here in this case with the Lumia 830, it is a mid-range device for $250, but it gives you the exact same experience as you would get on a flagship. Maybe not as fast, but the experience itself is pretty much the same, and this goes for pretty much all the other devices, and that is great because Windows Phone isn't really that resource or spec intense as other OS. Point number 8 is the great camera software. Okay, this is the Lumia software right now, but since Microsoft bought them, I'm pretty sure Microsoft will adapt the Lumia and make it a standalone feature for every Windows device. And I can already tell you the software itself is very powerful. You get a lot of manual controls here, and that is something really nice to see. You have a lot of customization options to get the most out of your pictures, and Windows Phone definitely has great cameras, and that is not just because the cameras are good, because the software is really good. The 10th and last point for the pros would be the good use of text size. As you can see here, every text is a little bit bigger than maybe on some other devices, but therefore it makes good use of the text. Everything is nice and easy to read. We have a really nice font, and it is just always sharp. It is never really blurry, and they really made this quite nice, and I really enjoy this as well. So we covered all the great stuff, but what is the bad stuff about Windows Phone? And we have to start with the first thing, that would be the terrible Google support. Nothing really works as you would know it from Android or iOS. As you can see here, Google Plus is more like wrapped in just an app design, but it's still nothing more than a mobile browser app. You can't really share photos or anything. YouTube works very nice because you have great apps like MyTube, so this is covered. But Gmail doesn't work the same way. You have an email app and it works, but things like G Drive, Google Notes, or maybe the Hangouts app just aren't available, and you can get a workaround, but sometimes not even that, so that is definitely a big minus. Point number 2 would be the extreme delay for keyboard predictions, because as you can see here, the keyboard is really responsive, but the moment you have to type, you will see you will have to wait a long time until you will get a result for you to see. This sometimes can be annoying because the faster you type, the more it will have an issue to keep up with you. So I'm not really happy with how this works. Otherwise, the keyboard is also, it looks smaller than it actually is, because usually on a 5-incher I can type way easier than I can do with this. The keyboard is responsive and the predictions work nice, but I think the delay is just a bit too big for my liking. Point number 3 would be the lack of great apps and games. You have more, and Windows did progress over time, but still most of the apps I use on maybe iOS or Android are still missing, and the games also aren't of the highest quality, so this is still a minus. Point number 4, the lack of support for third-party keyboards. As good as the stock keyboard maybe may work, it would be still nice to have at least a choice to get a third-party one. Point number 5, there is not much customization besides the tiles. You can change the size and you can change the position, but otherwise there's not really much else you can do. You can change the color for the accent here and you can change it to white and black, but otherwise there is not really much else to do. Point number 6, as well as Cortana may work, in the end it still uses Bing and not Google, because I would prefer the Google search because I'm just more used to it on any other device, and for me the results are also better. Bing works kind of good with Cortana, but in the end I would just like to see Google on here as well. Point number 7, apps maybe are super smooth, but everything and how the system works is a little bit slow. As you can see here, it is super smooth, but you can't just scroll as fast as you can do on other devices. You always have to wait for long transitions and everything for it to happen and to load, and the whole system, how it does multitasking, just isn't snappy. It is a really smooth system, but it is not something if you want to get things done on the fast way. Point number 8, there is no good third-party browser support. Of course, everyone seems to like Internet Explorer and it works quite well here, but I miss some of the really good third-party ones out there. Of course, there are a few ones available, but they can't even match the level of Internet Explorer. I would like to see some really big ones out there as well. Point number 9, and I can't even show this here, but getting files on and off the device can be quite tricky. There is no inbuilt file browser, so you can do this. There are some you can download, but it's quite hard to find the right one that maybe allows you to use your devices from your network, from your Wi-Fi or not. So this could definitely been done easier. Point number 10, and that is actually quite a big gripe for me, the lack of nice notification support. For some reason, because I don't get Google Plus notifications. I don't really get any YouTube notifications because it's not possible. The only thing right now I can get actually notifications are for my emails and for Twitter. But everything besides that, because the device in my pocket, once I had this as my daily driver for the last video, it felt like I'm completely shut off from the world because I didn't get any notifications and I didn't know what was going all around the world, because I just felt like I missed so much. It was quite nice because I didn't have to bother missing things, but I always felt like maybe there is a notification and I just don't get it. You have to always check the manual way, and if I wanted to know if I got a notification maybe on Google Plus, I always had to check within the app, and that is quite bothersome. Okay, these were my 10 pros and cons for Windows Phone. Let me know what you think. Were my 10 pros and cons legit, or do you have any other ones? Let me know in the comments and let me know what you think of Windows Phone. Okay, until next time, bye. I'll be back.